You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
This is a Cult Movie Cantina special. It's only me and Caleb because I don't think the ladies have seen this movie. And so
everybody's been kind of busy.
Everyone's kind of busy. We are coming back soon. We have actually recording next week. We got we're going to be doing a 3 o'clock high. That's our next film. So you guys can start watching that. I'm Scotty, your Native American pop culture spirit guide, and this is producer Caleb.
Hey, everybody.
And we're going to do a very special, very, very spoilery review of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Because we both saw it Thursday, and we need to. I really need to unpack this movie. You can like and subscribe to us on any podcast app. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cult Movie Cantina, and of course you can get us and watch our smiling faces on YouTube at youtube.com/Mobcast Network. Again, I'm going to give you this one final warning that this review will be incredibly spoilery. If you've not seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and would not like anything spoiled, please come back to watch us and share your thoughts with us after you've seen the movie. If you do not care about being spoiled, welcome along for the ride. Because, again, we are going to be very, very, very spoilery.
Yep.
Like, very much so. Your thoughts first.
Oh, I liked it. It's very different. It definitely, for those who are tired of the formula, I think this is a good change up, while also still being familiar.
Right.
Ooh. I really like so I should probably state how I saw it. I saw it in 3D.
How was the 3D experience?
It was interesting. It was so they definitely filmed this with 3D in mind.
Right.
There were a lot of good moments where the 3D really worked.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh yeah, okay, so the 3D was definitely like they shot this knowing.
Right.
Because certain films they just shoot it and don't care.
No, they do the layer 3D and they don't care, right?
Yeah, but this one they shot it knowing what. I mean, plus it's a Doctor Strange film, very psychedelic.
Right.
Especially as you're going through the dimensions. But of course, and I know we're going to definitely talk about it more later, but the Illuminati scene in particular in 3D.
Is it pretty dope?
Yeah.
I think I want to see it in 3D. I need to see it in 3D. And I probably will. This is the first Marvel movie in a long time that I'm like, I need to see this a couple of times.
Yeah.
I really want to see this a couple of times in theaters.
Yeah.
The first movie in a while, I'm like, I really want to go back and see it.
Like Spider-Man No Way Home was great, but that's not one I could sit in theaters more than twice.
It's also, what I like about the theater experience is, like, if I like a movie a lot and I want to see it again, I like to share it with somebody who's not seen it. So.
Yeah. And that's usually why I go more than once. Is usually I go with friends and then I'll go with family.
Right. So, but I like to share the experience, and so that's what I'm here for. This movie's incredibly shareable. It's like, and I think there's so much going on in it that, other viewings may help me see everything. I know I've missed stuff.
And I don't think it's a confusing film either.
No, absolutely not.
It very much tells you this is what's going on. That way, it's very basic for a film that's about the multiverse.
Yeah, it's quite simplistic. It's not as complicated as I thought it was going to be,
and that works in its favor.
Absolutely. I mean, a movie that could be super complicated because it's a super complicated concept. They're like, no, this is what it is. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
I think the most complicated thing about it is probably its villain, because that's something where you can have arguments all day probably about how you feel about it.
Right. So the villain, which I did not know going in.
Yeah, I think they said for a while, but people were kind of shrugging. Like, they said when they announced Multiverse of Madness as the title that it would connect to WandaVision. And then
I knew it was going to connect to WandaVision. I didn't expect Wanda Maximoff to be the villain.
Like, there were a lot of rumors out there and speculation, but Disney never confirmed.
Of course not. Why would you confirm? See, that's why I don't want the rumors or speculations. I just because it's like, at the end of the day, they're not going to confirm to you watch it anyway, so you don't know if you're right.
And even then, like, the ending of WandaVision definitely kept it open to where you could be like, oh, she's messing with the Darkhold, but she'll get better.
Well, I didn't even think about like it being evil and corrupting her or anything. I'm just like, she's just expanding her. That's just how she becomes a Scarlet.
The problem is the Darkhold, at least in the MCU, has always been corrupting. If you're going to count Agents of Shield, which I do,
you do. No one else does.
A lot of Disney does because they have yet to say that it is not canon.
It's not even with the rest of them. They kicked it to the others.
No, it's on Disney. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but it's not with the rest of the. It's like in a special section.
But it's not.
It's like how droids and Ewoks are in their own special.
But they've never said that this is no longer canon.
No, but they're like, yeah, we're not really. I mean, it's like the Netflix shows.
I feel like you can't play that type of game though. You need to say. You need to just say if it's no longer canon, which now doesn't even matter though because multiverse.
Right, it's not canon.
Well, or it is canon because
it's just like the whole thing is like Netflix. It's like the Netflix shows. Are they canon? Like, well, they're supposed to be. I mean, they're like, are they though?
Yeah. Just Kevin Feige say so. Just tell us.
I'm okay with them.
You can email me and like just tell me. I won't tell anybody else.
At Caleb, I heart Cap. Cap's the best. Captain America #1.
I don't know. Captain Carter's now.
Captain Carter was pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scarlet Witch being the villain was surprising, and I liked kind of tied into like almost House of M kind of stuff with her motivation before half of House of M.
And it's a villain that you can. It's like people talk about how Marvel villains you can sometimes sympathize.
Yeah, sympathize with her.
This one I sympathize. Like one makes the most sense.
Right. She wants to be reunited with her kids that she doesn't have.
I'm surprised they didn't. We'll talk about. I'm surprised they didn't bring up the fact that because they bring it up in the film that. Oh man, I just dropped the name. We'll talk about it later when I remember.
Who is it though?
America. They talk about her losing her parents. I'm surprised that doesn't play into later.
Right.
That felt like something that
America's parents just vanishing is an interesting part of her backstory, but I thought we were going to come around to it.
Yeah, like. I'm glad it's there because obviously we're going to explore America Chavez more.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
But I figured they would have brought that up during the final confrontation because that's like something that they can connect with. Like,
right.
I lost my parents, you lost your kids. But
yeah, that's not the direction they wanted to go in, I guess.
I mean, the direction they went with works too. I mean, but.
I want to just talk about the Illuminati the entire show. Holy shit.
So, I will say I was kind of bugged with the marketing when it came to this film because they revealed the Illuminati in one of the TV spots.
I didn't see it.
They didn't show the characters, but they said they actually revealed that it was the Illuminati.
Well, in the first official trailer, the one that's after
the first one, they never say.
No, they do because that's how they get. They say it's the Illuminati, and then you also hear Charles. That's the Super Bowl one.
I thought you hear Charles, but they don't say the word Illuminati.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure we all know. I can't remember.
I think a lot of people speculated it.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. But I was like, it's Illuminati.
Yeah, we figured it was. And
then
I think if you're somebody who doesn't know what's going in, I feel like it's a better surprise.
Well, again, I don't care about those people because I'm not that person.
No, I know.
And no offense to anyone like that, but I'm only experiencing the movie for myself. I can't experience for you.
Yeah.
So for me, knowing about the Illuminati, I was kind of giddy.
I mean, it didn't ruin it for me because I also spoiled myself by seeing who the members were.
Yeah, and that's on you.
That's on me, but I also.
But see, if you don't mind, if that stuff doesn't bother you,
stuff doesn't bother me.
See, I like, I mean, I don't like being spoiled, but if it's spoiled for me, it's not ruined. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. So
yeah, like we were talking about Moon Knight earlier.
Right.
You're like, it's not going to bug you.
Right. Yeah, Moon Knight's a whole other can of worms. I wanted to like Moon Knight. I am 4 episodes in, and it's going to be a slog for me to get through the other two. Just wanted to like it, and just does not like grab my attention. Like my biggest problem is I don't understand the stakes. Like I don't understand why I should care. And so that's why I haven't cared.
I got you.
And so I'm kind of curious about the hippo thing because that was cute.
Yeah.
Or God or whatever the hell it is.
Tolerant.
Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, but not enough to go. I will because this is how I watch my Marvel stuff, and actually this is how I watch my shows because I'm on the internet so much during the course of my day. I don't like being spoiled. Right? When you said that. And so usually I will wake up first thing in the morning, watch it first, and then go to work.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about that.
Right. And so that's how I function. The last 2 weeks, I have not done that with Moon Knight. I'm like,
yeah,
I'll sleep the extra hour and then go to work. And so, so the Illuminati. So
yes,
we have to talk
Illuminati.
about so it's Mordo.
Yep, because in the universe that they find themselves in, Strange is dead.
And Mordo
is the Sorcerer Supreme.
It's Mordo. Then we get
which I had actually speculated that. I had speculated like with some friends. I was like, I don't think this Mordo is our Mordo.
Right.
And I was right. I feel good about that.
We get
because that was not in the Illuminati cast that I saw. I saw the part where they're on Titan.
Right.
And so I only saw Xavier,
right.
Black Bolt, which is that the same?
Anson Mount. It is. I didn't believe it until I saw it in the credits. So it's Anson Mount. And so
okay, so it is the same as the
Human
Show.
Same as the Human Show, because they got him in the
look like him.
Because they got him in the different.
Yeah, but I could tell from like his face.
Right.
I was like, that looks like.
Yeah, and so
and then so they got Black Bolt back.
So they got Black Bolt, Xavier,
Captain Marvel, but specifically Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel.
Monica Rambeau's Captain Marvel, and then
Reed.
Reed Richards and Peggy Carter. And then Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
So we lost our shit when we saw Reed Richards.
Yeah.
So the first.
Yeah, everybody applauded.
Yeah, we just lost it. Like the theater went nuts.
That's a theater applause moment.
And I saw the guys I work with. They're working with my buddy Daniel, who works with me, is a diehard Fantastic Four fan. He's a Doctor Doom guy, and so like.
Oh no.
So like when.
Oh no.
No. He liked it all. No, he liked it all.
I was worried about the reaction.
No. First, he squealed when they said Baxter Foundation.
Yep.
And I looked over to him, like, oh my God! And we had that moment.
Because Christine works for them. She mentions that she works for the Baxter Foundation.
Which, if anyone knows their Fantastic Four history, the Fantastic Four first headquarters was the Baxter Building.
Yeah, and the Baxter Foundation is like their charity.
Right. And then we see Reed, and then he was super giddy. It was so funny to watch him. And it's the guy from The Office.
It's John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Which it's been speculated for a long time.
Why that he was coming to do it, and so, but I didn't expect to see him in this movie.
No.
And so, but here's my thought: was he was talking for a while, and I'm like, I hadn't seen Charles yet, and I'm like, what if he's the red herring?
Yeah, because Marvel likes to do their red herring trailers.
Maybe he's the red, so we won't get Charles. And just as I kind of give up hope on Charles Xavier, I'm like, oh!
And then he comes out with the gold.
Yeah, well, yeah, the animated series Wheelchair.
Yeah,
which is
based on the animated series Green
Suit. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Of course.
Like that movie could have just went to credits, and that was half a movie. I'm like, that's all right. Let's see it again. I'll just here's more money. I just want that. And there's that.
And then they gave us what happened with Wanda.
Right. And so,
which is great, and also
so the couple of things happened. So they're all worried about Doctor Strange because
because they bring up the incursions because that's a thing in the comic,
right?
Because that's what happened.
And Loki, they talk about Loki too. Mm-hmm. So it's
but because incursions, that's what happened with the Ultimate Universe. It combined with 616.
Right.
And Ultimate Universe died.
Yeah, right. That's how we got another Secret War.
And that's how now Miles Morales and Peter Parker can both be Spider-Man.
Right. And so, their Doctor Strange was terrible.
Yeah, he broke a lot of the rules that he made.
Right. So the thing that you learn about the multiverse is that if you have another version of yourself out in the multiverse, you experience their life through dreams. So when you're having a dream, you're not having a dream. You're living someone else's memory.
Which I have a theory about that.
Which is we'll get to that in a minute. But we learned that America's Shadows doesn't have one.
Yeah, she's the only one in the multiverse.
She's a singularity, and so which I thought was interesting and fun because I make a comic book called Chronicles of Limbo, and there's a similar premise. The main character Mop, the Mopcast Network, she's a singularity, and because she's in our comic she's a cosmic key.
Mm-hmm.
And so, not quite like Gwildor in the He-Man show, but the He-Man movie. Yeah. But she's and so she opens and closes gateways, and so to travel between dimensions, she's the one who opens and closes doors. So I thought it was really interesting. I was like, hey, that's kind of my idea. And so I was kind of proud. I wasn't like mad because I was like, I'm gonna. No. It's like, because there's no way they can do it. But I liked the cross contamination of thought. It's kind of fun. However, my favorite. So hold on, I gotta get to it. The
I like the beginning fight sequence when.
Before we get to that, because I want to build into it. Okay. Well,
I was going to talk about stuff before the Illuminati stuff.
Well, we'll get back. We'll backtrack. But since I really want to talk about the Illuminati because I'm so damn excited about the Illuminati. So, Strange their version of Strange breaks all these rules, and so on Titan, so basically the end version of Endgame on their movie.
Yeah, they use the book of
Vishanti to defeat
Thanos because they're like, oh. Yeah, easy win.
Right. So they do that. And Strange keeps dreamwalking, and that's a big no-no.
Yeah, it's basically using Darkhold magic to go to your alternate multiverse bodies and control them.
Right, sure. And
that's basically that's
what Wanda does.
It's the simplest explanation.
Right, and it's kind of what Wanda does. But I'm like, I'm not sure what Strange is trying to do. There's no explanation about.
Yeah, they mentioned that he was doing it so he could find a solution to beat Thanos.
Right.
He just kept doing it so much that, and then he caused an incursion on one of his walking events.
So they have to execute him, and they execute him with Black Bolt. Which is so awesome. Like the Inhumans show is terrible. It is. You have to agree with me on that, right?
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah,
and so
I get what it was going for.
And I'm not I'm not an Inhumans fan. I like especially because of that show.
Yeah, I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did a really good job with them. They did a much better job.
Well, there's a time when like they were trying to figure out this is before the Disney Fox.
They were going to do the film,
right? Before the Disney Fox merger. Disney was going to use their Inhumans as their mutants, and do that and as their X-Men.
And they were going to do a film, but that was when Mike Perlmutter had to say.
But they were also doing that a lot in the comics too. So the Inhumans were coming in, and they were getting rid of mutants were. And I'm a huge X-Men fan, and so that just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
But watching Black Bolt whisper "I'm sorry" and just annihilate Doctor Strange, kind of how in Watchmen as Dr. Manhattan kills Rorschach and just like it's so good. It is so good. But the funniest thing is like our Doctor Strange, who's in their universe, tries to warn them that Scarlet Witch is coming to get America and it's going to be bad. And
that's just dreamwalking.
Right. And Captain Marvel's like, that's okay. We can handle your Scarlet Witch. I'm like, can you? Can you? Because Wanda's basically Dark Phoenixing out here.
Yeah.
And it also made me giddy because it was like seeing Wanda do Wanda's stuff was like, we can get a real Dark Phoenix movie.
Yeah.
We can do Marvel's on a kind of right track of like this. So Wanda shows up to try to get America after dreamwalking into her alternate version of herself.
Wanda shows up.
Yeah, Wanda shows up,
and everybody's like, "All right, we got to go deal with it."
So they power
leave Strange with just Xavier and Mordo.
Right, and so they basically Power Ranger their way over.
And Xavier's like, "Hey, if you happen to escape, you have a way to get to the book."
Xavier's like, I know there's a plan. We all need a plan B. Here's a plan B.
Yeah. And meanwhile, and then he leaves, and then Mordo's like, I don't want you to leave.
Right. We gotta wait for this vote. And I'm like, they're all going to die. And I love my favorite part of two favorite things in this fight. Or there's kind of a fight.
Yeah. It's a slaughter.
Scarlet Witch shows up. And Reed goes to try to talk sense into her.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
And he says, look, I have children myself. I understand. And she says,
do they have a mother?
Oh, no, is their mother still alive?
Oh, yeah.
And he says, well, yes, she is. And she says, good. Now, at least somebody will raise your children. And I'm like, that's the baller line. That's up there with I sense, fear in dead people. Yeah. I'm just like,
up there with I drink your milkshake.
Oh, it's such, that's a mic drop line. Which is like, I'm Scarlet Witch. And then,
and she backs it up.
She basically does what Thanos does to Reed Richards in the Infinity Gauntlet comic. She just turns him into nuts. She just rips him apart.
Yep.
And so we got to see Connie stretch. He didn't do much.
Yeah,
but,
we got to see him do the stretch in the screen,
right,
superhero landing.
Right, but I can't wait. I can't wait. My other favorite part is just watching Peggy Carter just do her stuff.
Yep.
Who holds her own.
Yeah.
She definitely holds her own.
And then the iconic "I can do this all day."
I can do this all day, and which I knew was coming. I felt it. I felt that it was coming and it was like, she should say it. And then she gets cut in half by the shield. Oh, it's so good!
It's coming at you.
That's
one of the moments that's great in 3D.
Right, and just watch her just go. So good, so good.
And then Captain Marvel almost gets her, but gets crushed by a statue.
Right. Are we missing one, or was it just those three?
Yeah, it's just those three. Hold on.
I feel like I'm missing. Who am I missing?
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt!
She removes his mouth. His mouth doesn't exist.
Right. But so before she kills Reed, they're like, we got a Black Bolt.
It's their Hulk.
This is their Hulk. Like, we got a Black Bolt, and she's like, with one whisper, he can just annihilate you. And she goes, with what mouth? And she takes away his mouth, and then he screams and blows the back of his head out. It's oh my god. Oh,
this is part of my reasoning of saying you can tell it's a Sam Raimi film.
Right.
All of this is very Sam Raimi.
It's good. I'm like compelled, and I'm not upset because I love all these characters, and I'm like,
and also it's an alternate. Like,
right,
if you're really upset that they died, just keep in mind it's a different multiverse.
It's just universes versus those guys.
It's the 939 whatever they said.
Yeah,
and also on top of that. Don't be upset that that's based on the way they describe the history of their universe. We also know it's not the Captain Carter from the What If.
Right.
It's not and we also know that this is not the X-Men. This isn't 90s X-Men, which some people are starting to think that 97 is going to connect to the MCU now.
Absolutely should.
But also this Xavier is not that Xavier because 90s X-Men takes place in the 90s, which means their Xavier would be ancient.
Right. So I'm just
So there's a lot. I mean, and plus now we know yes, there is a Reed out there because he's not a singularity. So obviously we know that other Reeds exist. More than likely, all John Krasinski.
Right.
I am kind of disappointed because I did still hear rumors about a Superior Iron Man showing up, but no.
I heard like Tom Cruise, but
yeah, that's what I was hearing. Like Superior Iron Man played by Tom Cruise,
right? But I think that'd have been a bit much. I don't think my brain could have handled it anymore. I'd have been like, get out of my ears. I just like, no.
Maybe next time.
Maybe delete it. Who knows? God, like I can't wait to see what's deleted out of this movie.
Yeah.
Our hero saved the day. I like, and I don't want to spoil all of it, but
I like the first battle at Carmitage.
Right, it's great.
Wanda just comes in and then they shield up and then she tricks them into.
Right, it's very witchcrafty.
Yeah,
that's
and the
great.
whole him trapping her in the mirror dimension,
right,
only for her to come out through reflections, and her once again a Sam Raimi moment.
Right.
The way she contorts.
Oh, and then speaking of Sam Raimi, Zombie Strange.
Yeah, Zombie Strange.
Zombie Strange is great, and just the way, because he's very much a Deadite. He's, Doctor Strange's a Deadite. And Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, which is the most Sam Raimi. It's literally just Bruce Campbell as Ash because he has to fight his hand.
Right, he has to fight his hand. And see, Sam Raimi enjoys abusing Bruce Campbell.
Oh, no, yeah.
Like every time
I've seen the Spider-Man trilogy.
Right, and so he's just continued his long term of just abusing Bruce Campbell.
Although I'd say Spider-Man 2, Bruce Campbell wins that one.
Right.
Because that's the one where he's the theater.
Yeah,
the ticket. You're late, so you can't come in.
It is so good. It is so good. Elizabeth Olsen's great. Benedict Cumberbatch is great. There are two. I won't spoil.
I can tell Elizabeth Olsen had a great time in that role.
Everyone looked like they were having fun, and I think that's part of it. I think, and I could be completely wrong, but they are so good. They look like everyone's having fun.
Yeah,
and like that just comes out on the screen. Plus, like Raimi's getting to be Raimi. Like it's the only thing that we were missing from Raimi was like a Raimi montage of like in Evil Dead 3 where he makes the hand.
Mm-hmm.
There's no groovy moment, but that's okay. That's okay. Next time, just do it. And wherever the third one's going to be.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I was getting excited about that I did not get.
Okay.
and I didn't know I wanted it until I was seeing the movie. And then here's an alternate take. I think what would have been better. So again, I own a toy store, and I'm hooked up with a bunch of toy companies, and one of those Hasbro, who does all the Marvel Legends line, all the Marvel toys. And when this set of Doctor Strange toys came out, they had there was a Doctor Strange in America, and there's.
Did they have Defender Strange? That's the one that's zombie.
Yeah, they've got all, but they didn't have a zombie version. They just
they just have
Defender Strange, right?
Yeah,
but on them they have Sleepwalker. Sleepwalker is a very minute early '90s Marvel guy. He looks like an alien, but he's like a dreamwalker.
Okay.
And so I'm like, holy shit, Sleepwalker.
I'm pulling up the toy.
Yeah, Sleepwalker.
Yeah.
And so he's like a Sandman, like not Neil Gaiman, but like a real. And so
so is he kind of along? I'm guessing a weaker version of like say Nightmare.
Kind of, but he's a guy who fights Nightmare too, and he's a '90s guy. Like so in the early '90s, there was like 4 books that all came out about the same time. They relaunched Deathlock, they relaunched Ghost Rider, they did Sleepwalker, and they did Darkhawk, and so those are all in about the same era. And Sleepwalker wasn't my favorite, but he looked cool as hell. And it's because he looks kind of like a gray, like the gray aliens, and it's guys. And so they're doing all this dreamwalking stuff, and like they're talking about Guardians and stuff, and like, oh, that could be a bunch of Sleepwalkers out there. That would make so much sense. I'm like, I'm like, oh, come on, Sleepwalkers, come on, give me. I don't think I've ever said that in my life, but I'm really excited to see some Sleepwalkers, and we don't get it. We get Ghosts instead.
Yeah,
which works. But I think wouldn't it be badass you just see these guys come out of the. Dude, it would have been dope. Would have been dope. But still, I'm not disappointed.
So, speaking of all this dream walking and all that, so I have it's not really a theory, it's more of a realization I had.
Right.
So they basically confirmed that whenever you dream, it's your multiverse that you're viewing.
Right.
So does that mean Nightmare is way more powerful if he's ever introduced in the MCU?
Probably.
Because, so in the comics, his main thing is that he takes somebody's sleeping astral form and brings them to his realm, and that's where nightmares come from, essentially. And sometimes he'll keep you even longer than you're supposed to. But that would imply that in the MCU, he's not taking somebody's astral form. He's probably taking your multiverse person.
Right.
Like you're sleeping and you see your guy and you're viewing from their perspective, and all of a sudden you're in a nightmare. That means he just kidnapped somebody from the multiverse.
That's how I would write it. I like it. You should. Yeah, I support this theory. 100%. 10 would recommend.
Plus Nightmare was originally going to be the villain in this. Right. Back when Scott Derrickson was still doing the sequel, because he gave us the first one.
I'm glad he didn't, because I love this movie.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Derrickson could have done it. Because, once again, he also has the horror background. Right, but I don't think he could have given us this movie.
Yeah, this movie is...
Which he didn't want to. That's why he left. Right. Because, I mean, obviously, when Marvel reshuffled around and realized, we want to connect our movies to the shows, that's when Scott left. It was around that time anyways, and they said it was because of creative differences. So
that's a creative difference. I mean, I get it.
And so, obviously, he wanted to write his nightmare horror film, and they wanted a slightly horror film, but that was more connected.
Right. I love this movie. I had as much fun, almost as much fun. I don't say I had as much fun, but I had almost as much fun as I did when I saw Endgame. Endgame, I think, is the last great Marvel movie.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Yeah,
it's the last great one.
I can agree to that.
Shang-Chi's fun.
I like it. I liked all the films so far, but I will definitely say that the last great film.
I've seen Shang-Chi, and we had.
I know how you feel on Eternals.
Eternals is dumb. It's just dumb. It's a nearly 3-hour movie about aborting a god. It's just like.
I mean, that's what the comic's about,
right? Too, but I'm still like, I'm bored. I was so bored. I Shang-Chi I like, but I haven't went back and rewatched. And I should because I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like I really need to see this again. The 2 Spider-Man films, I liked the newest one more than I did the one in France.
Yeah, Far From Home was all right.
It was all right, but
I like the ideas of Mysterio. Although now knowing Jake Gyllenhaal's relationship to Taylor Swift, he was fit for the role of Mysterio.
Right, absolutely. Peter Parker needs to do a 15-minute song about him. And I like Far From Home No Way Home.
Yeah, No Way Home.
God, they're just calling different things. They're getting confusing.
I think they're going to switch it up now.
And so and that was fun, but I haven't like when it comes to like streaming like on Disney Plus, I'll probably watch it again, but Doctor Strange I want to see in the theaters. I want to experience in the theater again, especially like the Illuminati scene. I really want to experience that again.
Yeah.
And so I had so much fun, and I was missing that in the other films.
I got you.
And so I'm glad we kind of get back on track with it. I think Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be great because I think Taika. I like Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok's like a little too long, but it's still good. It's still
I'm liking how, despite what some of the fanboys would say about Natalie Portman, I think she's looking pretty fit.
Yeah, I'm all in for
the fanboys are going. Why is she not looking? Yeah, she is. She's got way more muscle than me.
Yeah, she's worked out.
It's more of a slim buff,
right?
But that's just
she's athletic. It'll work out. I like it.
I like it.
Wait, so
she's more buff than the actual comic.
So I'm giving this movie 8 out of 10.
Ooh, yeah.
8 out of 10.
I'm thinking 8, 8.5.
Right. We're going like I think like Infinity War's a 9 and Endgame's a 10, and so yeah, I like it as much as I like Avengers and as much as I like Civil War. Yeah, and so it's up there. 8, solid. I want Sam Raimi to make more movies. I hope this because
I think this will create a good partnership between them.
Yeah,
I also think though we're gonna get. Because of how things went with the Spider-Man movie, I think he's gonna have more opportunities there with Sony as well.
Maybe so. I'm happy to see where he goes.
Because I would like to see maybe another Toby film.
I really like to see.
I definitely want another Andrew film. Give that man another shot. Because he's not bad.
No, he's great. He's great.
Even in the actual Amazing Spider-Man.
I'm actually watching something with Andrew Garfield in it right now on Hulu. It's a show called Under the Banner of Heaven, and it's basically True Detective but the Mormon version.
Oh, is this based on
a novel?
Oh, okay. This isn't based on the bombings.
No. This is
because there's that Mormon guy who.
Right. This is a high-profile Mormon family. There's a murder within it, and so he's a Mormon detective.
Yeah, because they don't let a lot of outside.
No, they still have to follow the law. And this detective has to be I'm one episode into it. I love it, and Andrew Garfield's really, really good in it. So, and I also liked him in Eyes of Tammy Faye.
I liked him in Eyes of Tammy Faye.
And then of course I loved him in Spider-Man. So he's like,
and I liked him in Click Click Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah, Tick Tick Boom.
Tick Tick Boom was good,
which I've not seen yet. And it's on the list.
I know it's
too much stuff to watch.
So I mean, give these actors and directors more shots.
Right. So we're both in agreement. So before we leave this, I do want to talk about trailers in front of the movie.
Okay. So I know for sure one. Okay, so I was a little late, but I saw most of them.
All right. So did you?
I saw the big one.
Right. So can we talk about the big one?
Yeah, and that one since it was a 3D showing for me, they showed it in 3D.
Oh! I love Avatar. I think most people do. And the problem with Avatar is that our Avatar is not just a film. As a movie, it's okay.
Yeah, that's where my issues lie with it. Like, yeah, I obviously appreciate everything it did for
However, no, not even that. Like, I saw it in 3D when it came out. And that's an experience. The way Cameron does 3D in Pandora, I had never been so immersed in a world. It's not invasive 3D. It's almost like you're viewing a hall. You're in there.
Yeah.
The way the leaves so there's a lot lost in that film on home video.
Yeah, there is.
And so you get
I'll admit that's how I watched it.
Right,
I fell asleep.
Right, and it's a huge disappointment. However, we're going to have to talk about Avatar 2 in a second.
Yeah.
But I've heard that this summer they're re-releasing the original in theaters.
Okay.
I'll take you.
Okay.
Because you need to experience.
Because like I understand. I appreciate everything it did.
As a film guy, I think all film people who protest that they love movies ignore the story, because the story is simple. It is Dancing with Wolves with a James Cameron's greatest hits wrapped into it.
And my biggest problem is once you get it on home video, I feel like while I get why like in theaters it's great to see this,
right.
But I feel like 90% of that 3-hour film is just wide shots,
these white shots,
which are great in theater.
Right.
But once you get home, you're like, once you're watching it at home, you're like, I should cut this by 30 minutes.
Right. I was the same way. I was the same way when I bought it, and in fact, I bought the director's cut, and because there's 30 minutes more into it.
Oh my god.
Which I hope they put in the theaters because I want to see in the theaters.
Yeah, in the theaters that probably
like better. There's a whole opening about like the Earth, like before Jake Sully leaves, and like why Jake Sully gets involved into the program. There's some background context, which I think is great, and I hope they when they re-release it they put in all that stuff. But it's like just flying around. There's something. It's magical. And that's what movies should do, and that's what I think Doctor Strange does. I kind of want to see in 3D because I think, especially a lot of those multiverse sequences and stuff they have to be fantastic.
The music battle was great.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. But the new Avatar they showed the trailer. Like he's been working on this movie for like 10 years.
Yeah,
like every now and then you'd see like some scenes of like people in mocap suits jumping around.
Because 2 and 3 are done.
Yeah, right.
3 is being edited.
Yeah, they're like in post in 3.
Yeah, and then like that means like as soon as that's done, 4 and 5 are going to get shot.
Right, and so
because it's done being written.
So I just don't know why I don't know what there's 5 stories in this. Whatever.
I don't know either.
But again, he makes pretty movie. It's a real pretty movie.
Yeah.
And so the new one's called The Way of Water, and it's because Cameron's obsessed with
he loves the ocean.
Well, if you watch our Titanic episode, you understand that there's a whole ocean thing. So he's doing a lot of, but it looks so damn pretty.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, I can't wait to see it in 3D.
But the thing I'm thinking about though is, well, I think people are going to get hyped for it at the last second, but I also think not enough to be the same as say Avatar 1.
No, I disagree. I think especially
because it's been so long.
No, but if they release 1 in theaters over the summer, I think you'll get the people for 2.
Yeah,
I think you'll get the people for 2.
I just know that I remember like in 2009 the hype was real.
Well, until the Marvel movies, it was the #1 movie in the world.
Well, yeah, because by then you had Iron Man 1, but that was it.
Yeah, but before Avengers, really.
Yeah.
And so
Avatar was high. Like
everybody. Actually, I don't think Avatar loses it until Force Awakens knocks it out.
Yeah.
And then the Avengers.
Force Awakens got it first.
Yeah, and so.
But like, in terms of like, but I'm talking about like in terms of like how people perceived it, like the fandom around it.
The only thing I think will hurt it is if we have another spike in the pandemic. And people say,
which
I don't foresee it.
But
I don't foresee
you
it.
never know.
You never know. But if something keeps people away from theaters, that's what's going to kill it. And if something starts keeping people from theaters, I'd push it. I'd hold it. I'd push it. I'd push it until we get to it. Because it's a theater movie.
Yeah.
And like I don't say this about a lot of the movies. Like
they're also kind of lucky that since they shot 2 and 3 back to back when they did,
right.
They finished shooting before.
So they were all in post during all this. I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited only because it brings in the fact that the next maybe they're going to continue what their original plan was regarding this, is that they're going to do Avatar 1 year and then the next year a Star Wars film, because I'm kind of ready for a Star Wars film.
Yeah, I'm curious what we'll get. I guess
Rogue Squadron
Patty Jenkins is
still happening as far as I can tell. I think they're about to start filming something like that.
I don't know. I'm curious.
I'm hearing rumors that Acolyte's going to film soon, but I don't think we're getting that till 2024.
No, of course not, because we got to get Ahsoka and
that's going to be 2023. Yeah,
and Mandalorian 3.
Yeah,
which is also next year. Actually, I think we'll get Mandalorian 3 after Cassian Andor.
Yeah,
I think Cassian,
that's gonna be this year.
I think Cassian finishes up, and then we get Mando
Mando's
Christmas time, like we usually get.
Yeah, and then of course Bad Batch is fitting in there somewhere. We'll find out at Celebration.
I'm pretty sure Bad Batch is going to air after Obi-Wan. That's if I'm a betting person, they'll air it after Obi-Wan.
Yeah, we'll find out at Celebration because they're giving a Bad Batch its own panel, and then the rest of the live action shows are on the first day, Thursday.
The thing about the Bad Batch panel, and I know this is what they're going to do. They'll show the first. They'll show the first.
Yeah, they're gonna.
So the first episode, the first 2 episodes, because when
that's what they've always done.
Right, because when I saw Rebels, I went for the Rebels season 4 panel.
Same.
And
I think we were both there.
Oh yeah,
that was before we met, but like. Yeah, that was before we met, but we both happened to be there.
Yeah, well, and see, I got
that one they only showed the first episode, which I was kind of disappointed with because I knew the previous years they'd shown the first two,
right,
and then that year they were like, "And we're only going to show you part 1."
Yeah, and tell you that it was over. That was the year I got invited by Lucasfilm though. So I got press passes for that because we were doing the Rebels show at the time, and so I got the one and only email from Lucasfilm. Mine's the follow up. So one's like, "Hey, you have this Rebels podcast. We would like to invite you to come to
because we're going to talk about Rebels."
Yeah, well, it was like also we're going to talk about ending it. They didn't tell us that part, but that was the big thing.
Yeah.
So I got invited to the screening, the panel on the screening. We had special seats for it, so we got to go in first and sit down. It was great. It was me and my friend Jake Stevens. We sat right by each other. He's out of DC. He's got a website from Forlom to Zuckus.com, which is a great site. We're going to have him on one of the shows too. And then afterwards there was a private press conference, and that's where they announced the end of the season and questions and stuff. And which you can find. Actually, I have it on. It's on the website. It's on the YouTube page.
Yeah,
because I filmed it. So.
Yep.
So if you might want to remember that, I'll put in the show notes on the YouTube page. Well, I love Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I loved it too. And I got this nice.
Yeah, I was about to say your popcorn box,
which they made me put together.
Really?
Yeah. So when I got it, I can kind of show you how it.
Oh, they were. So I went to the AMC in Daphne, and they were already assembled.
Oh, see, yeah, they had it still all locked up like this.
Oh.
So
that's actually kind of cool. See, if I knew it had done that, I probably would have bought one. $25, right?
Something like that, yeah. 25.
Like I think. Well, that's what the guy told me, and that's like I don't like popcorn that much.
It also isn't that big of a popcorn bucket.
Right, but you got refills with it, right?
So what I did is they gave me my popcorn separately since they gave me that.
Oh, yeah.
Since they gave it to me folded, and what I did is I unfolded it, right? Like I just walked to the table, unfolded it, put the popcorn in.
Right.
Although I put the popcorn in wrong. Because I didn't realize that this part folds up.
Right.
And that you're supposed to put it there.
Right.
So I had it this way the whole... But also, that gives it a little more room for you to pour the popcorn in.
Right. It gives you some more, yeah.
I didn't realize till after the movie it's supposed to be this way.
Yeah. I hold it up. It's a little higher, so that's so.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Yeah. Because see, that makes sense because that's the bottom, so you don't need decorations on the bottom.
Yeah. And so but I put the popcorn in, and then I went inside, and the reason I missed some of the trailers is because I waited till my friend came. And then I was like, okay, watch my thing. I'm going to get my free refill.
Right.
So I had that and the popcorn buckets with popcorn.
Nice. Smart. Very cool.
Since I get that free refill. But
didn't know if it was $25 free.
Yeah. It's nice. It's definitely a good collector's edition thing. But if you're not, if it's not for you, I get it.
I'll put it this way. I get paid this week at work. And so I always have a Mad Money budget in my paycheck, and so I might get that with my Mad Money.
My roommate said now that I'm done using it as a popcorn bucket, I could probably put LEDs in it. And
you could, you absolutely could light it up.
It would look really cool.
It would look awesome. It really would cool. You do your Doctor Strange cosplay and walk around with it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much for this. This was great. Cult Movie Cantina is coming back very, very soon. We're just a little hiatus, mainly because I've been traveling with a toy store, and then. The girls we have some conflicts the next couple of weeks, but we're working it all out. We should be back in full swing by June. However, we are recording some episodes this month. I know at least 2 are coming this month. So You get this week, next week, the week after maybe, and then we're doing live in MobileCon. We haven't picked the movie yet, but come see us at MobileCon. As soon as I have the date for that, we'll pick a movie or the time for it, because they haven't given us that yet. But we'll pick a movie and we'll come out and see us. Come do a live. Our live shows are fun. I give out great prizes, so come do that. This is Sky saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours.